Your dog can have a soft bed, clean water, good food, and a house full of love, and still be missing a part of life that its body and mind were built for. If the only world your dog ever knows is carpet, walls, furniture, and a view through glass, the loss is quiet. It does not always look dramatic at first. It often looks safe, comfortable, responsible. But over time, a life lived only indoors can slowly narrow a dog's body, its mind, and even its sense of what the world is. By the end of this video, you'll know why this works and how to apply it with what you already have. The hard part is that many loving owners do this for a good reason. They want to protect their dog from danger, weather, traffic, disease, rough animals, or getting lost. That love is real. This is not about blame. It is about what can happen when protection becomes total and a dog's whole life shrinks to the inside of a home. Dogs were not built to experience life only through a window. Their brains and bodies are made for movement, scent, changing sounds, new ground, weather, distance, and social contact. Dr. Nicholas H. Dodman, a veterinary behaviorist, said, "Dogs are not just pets. They are social creatures that need interaction, exercise, and mental stimulation to thrive." That line matters here, because indoor-only living limits all three. The mainstream view from veterinarians and pet behaviorists is clear. Regular outdoor exercise and socialization support both physical health and psychological well-being. That view grew stronger after studies published around 2010 increased awareness of how much exercise and social exposure matter. In 2019, research like The Effects of Rearing Environment on Dog Behavior from the University of Bristol added more attention to the connection between environment and behavior. The common belief that love, food, and shelter are enough gets challenged by this. Care is not only about keeping a dog safe. It is also about giving that dog a life it can actively experience. The first change often shows up in the body. A dog that spends its whole life inside usually moves less. Less movement can mean weaker muscles, lower stamina, stiffer joints, and less confidence in the body itself. According to the American Kennel Club, nearly 54% of dogs in the United States were overweight or obese as of 2022. The AKC linked that condition with insufficient exercise, which is common for indoor-only dogs. That number should stop people for a second. More than half. When a dog gains weight and loses strength, everyday actions can become harder. Running feels heavier. Jumping feels awkward. Even exploring can start to look like work instead of joy. And physical weakness is not just about weight. It can change how a dog feels emotionally. A dog that does not trust its own body often becomes less bold. It may hesitate at stairs, slippery floors, new surfaces, or longer walks. That hesitation can look like stubbornness, but sometimes it is simply a dog that has not had enough practice moving through a bigger world. Then there is the nose, maybe the most ignored part of indoor dog life. Dogs do not understand the world the way we do. We lead with sight. Dogs lead with scent. A house does have smells, but they become familiar fast. The same rooms, the same people, the same air, the same routine. Outside, scent changes every hour. Rain changes it. Wind changes it. Other dogs change it. Birds, soil, plants, passing strangers, a dropped sandwich, a squirrel path, last night's raccoon trail, all of it becomes information. Without that stream of new scent, the brain gets less work. That matters because mental stimulation is not a luxury for dogs. It is part of normal life. A dog that cannot sniff new ground or follow an interesting trail may have its world become repetitive. People often think a walk is only about burning energy. For many dogs, the walk is also reading the news, solving puzzles, and checking the state of the world through smell. When that stops, life can become dull in a way humans do not always notice. The next shift is emotional. A dog that rarely experiences the outside world can become more anxious about it. Strange sounds stay strange. Cars stay scary. Other dogs stay unpredictable. New people feel like threats instead of normal parts of life. According to a 2020 study in Veterinary Record by Beck and others, 27% of dogs show signs of anxiety or behavioral problems. A lack of physical activity and socialization can make those problems worse. That does not mean every indoor dog will become anxious. It means a dog with a very small world has fewer chances to build confidence in a larger one. This became even more visible during the pandemic. In 2021, more households kept dogs indoors for longer periods, and reports of problems like separation anxiety increased. That period showed something many behavior experts had been saying for years. A dog does not become emotionally steady by being sheltered from everything. It becomes steady by learning, little by little, that new things can be safe. Social skills can shrink in the same quiet way. Dogs need controlled exposure to different people, other dogs, new places, surfaces, and sounds. Without that, normal life can start to feel overwhelming. A front yard can feel too open. A sidewalk can feel too loud. A visitor can feel too intense. A calm dog may look fine indoors, but fall apart in a parking lot, at a vet visit, or during a simple walk around the block. That is not because the dog is bad. It is often because the dog never got enough practice. There is a common idea that small dogs do not need much of the outside world because they can get enough movement indoors. The research pushes back on that. One example often seen in indoor-kept small breeds is what people call small dog syndrome, where the dog shows dominant or aggressive behavior that often grows from weak boundaries and poor socialization. The issue is not size. The issue is lack of experience. Another piece gets lost even when owners provide toys and affection. Natural instincts can get buried. Sniffing, tracking, exploring, choosing where to step, reading the environment, moving with purpose. These are not extra features. These are normal dog behaviors. A dog does not need a wild life to use them, but it does need chances. An indoor-only life can reduce those chances so much that the dog stops acting curious and starts acting passive, restless, or overly dependent. This is where boredom begins to wear a different face. Not all boredom looks lazy. Sometimes it looks loud, barking at every sound, chewing furniture, pacing from room to room, licking paws again and again, restlessness, clinginess, destructive bursts of energy. The research notes that indoor dogs can struggle with behavioral issues from lack of exercise and stimulation, including anxiety, depression, and hyperactivity. Dr. John Sirabasi, also a veterinary behaviorist, put it simply, a well-exercised dog is less likely to develop behavior problems. Exercise matters, but not just running. A dog can be tired in the legs and still underfed in the mind. That brings us to the bond between dog and owner, which is where this gets emotional. A dog can love its owner deeply and still depend on that person too much when the owner becomes its whole world. If all comfort, activity, stimulation, and security come from one human inside one home, the dog may struggle when that human leaves, changes routine, or cannot give constant attention. What looks like extreme loyalty can, over time, become fragility. There is also a money angle that surprises people. The ASPCA says pet owners spend an average of $1,500 a year on dog care as of 2023, including food, vet visits, and training. People spend real money because they care, but spending on care does not automatically replace lived experience. A dog can have premium food and still need sunlight. A dog can have expensive toys and still need to sniff a tree, walk a new route, hear distant sounds, and feel different ground under its paws. Now for the nuance, because this matters. This message is not leave your dog outside. It is not saying indoor dogs are always unhappy. It is not saying every dog needs the same level of outdoor activity. Some dogs need more protection because of age, illness, disability, weather, or where they live. Safety matters. Health matters. Urban life can be hard. In cities, indoor dog living became more popular around 2000 as lifestyles changed. That reality is part of why dog parks, dog-friendly spaces, and dog cafes grew by 2023. People were trying to create safer ways for dogs to get contact with the outside world. There is also a different view worth hearing. Some people argue that certain breeds can do well with mostly indoor living if mental stimulation is provided. That view has some support in the rise of interactive toys, dog treadmills, and virtual dog training classes in recent years. These tools can help, especially when outdoor time is limited, but they are supports, not full replacements. A treadmill can move the body. It cannot reproduce the smell of wet grass, the sound of distant traffic, the surprise of a bird lifting from a bush, or the calm learning that happens when a dog moves through the real world safely. So, what do dogs actually need? Not danger, not endless freedom, not a life left outside. They need safe outdoor experiences, daily walks, time to sniff without being rushed, sunlight, new routes, controlled social exposure, play, training, enrichment, small chances to choose a direction, investigate a smell, pause at a patch of grass, and take in the world. They need moments where they get to simply be dogs. If outdoor time has been limited, the answer is not to throw a nervous dog into a crowded place. Start small, quiet walks, short sessions, calm spaces, gentle exposure. The goal is not pressure. The goal is confidence. A bigger world does not have to arrive all at once. Sometimes the saddest truth is this: love can become a cage when protection removes every challenge, every smell, every strange sound, every bit of adventure. Not because the owner meant harm, because care can become so focused on danger that it forgets life. And life, for a dog, is not just being sheltered. Life is sensing, moving, exploring, and learning. Your dog does not need a wild life to be happy, but it does need a world bigger than the living room. Every walk matters. Every smell matters. Every patch of grass, every new route, every safe outdoor moment tells your dog something simple and powerful. The world is still here. You are part of it, and life is still happening.